With over $107.54 billion market cap, it is safe to say that Sony is among the world's most valuable companies. How did an ordinary electronic shop rise to become a global sensation with over 95,500 patents? Well, chances are that if you used a digital camera, handled a smartphone, or just played a video game, then at some point in your life, you must have used a Sony product. However, the story behind its rise is mixed with an unconventional history. It appears that the Sony Corporation capitalized on a shadow of destruction, a painful chapter in history that still haunts us to this day. Stick around and it will become clear by the end of this story. The story began in September 1945, during the Second World War. A young man named Masaru Ibuka decided to start what seemed like a small workshop in a war-damaged department store in Tokyo. Little did he know that this humble beginning would lead him to heights he couldn't have imagined. The workshop was managed in a little space, no windows, and just a handful of staff. While everything seemed uncertain, they simply relied on Ibuka's little savings to pay salaries. However, amidst this uncertainty, an opportunity emerged, one that would rewrite the course of history. It was believed that during World War II, the Japanese military police would modify home radios to prevent citizens from tuning in to enemy propaganda. After World War II, there was a surge in interest in global news, prompting Ibuka's workshop to capitalize on this demand. So in 1946, Masaru Ibuka met Akio Morita, and they founded Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo, a Tokyo telecommunications engineering corporation. But before their partnership, Ibuka worked for Japan Precision Instrument Company, supplying electronic equipment during World War II, while Morita was an applied science instructor. However, their unique talents would later become important in the establishment of their newly founded company. During World War II, Ibuka and Morita designed heat-seeking missiles like infrared homing used for the Imperial Japanese Army. Following the war, they continued their collaboration, forming one of the most fruitful relationships in business history. They started making small modifications to radios, allowing them to receive various waves. Ibuka's expertise in product development complemented Morita's talent for business management and marketing. And before you know it, Sony became a global corporation. These modifications became immensely popular, earning the workshop recognition in a local Japanese magazine. Their journey started with repairing radios, and a few years later, they started to make massive advancements in technology. Back in those days, while they were busy fixing radios, the workshop was getting rice as payment alongside the usual fees. With so much rice at their disposal, they wondered what to do. So they made lime out of lemonade and decided to venture into manufacturing an electric rice cooker. The rice cooker was Sony's first product, and it was basically a device consisting of aluminum electrodes attached to the bottom of a wooden tub. Unfortunately, its performance left much to be desired, often resulting in overcooked or undercooked rice. On May 7, 1946, a small Tokyo workshop officially transitioned into a local company with a capital of $530, no machinery, and limited scientific equipment. Despite these challenges, the engineers relied on their creativity to compensate for the lack of resources. Their first official project as a company was an electrically heated cushion, which unfortunately only led to complaints of burnt blankets and mattresses. With yet another setback, the workshop faced the harsh reality that without a hit product, their company would be at risk of folding. It was time for a change in strategy. In 1950, the company introduced Japan's first tape recorder, yet sales were not really good. This time, the company's fate was about to change for the worse. This technology was rare, and their only clue was a plastic tape coated with a magnetic material. So, they improvised by borrowing a frying pan from the kitchen while roasting powdered chemicals. Through these efforts, they also made ferric oxide powder, capable of producing sound when applied to magnetic tape. By early 1952, they had developed prototype recorders known as the G-type and the A-type. The G-type was intended for industrial use with a recording time of 1 hour, while the A-type was designed for home use, offering 30 minutes of recording time. These tape recorders quickly gained popularity in Japan and would be found in virtually every household and classroom. However, the same couldn't be said for US tape recorders, which were primarily used by news reporters for transcribing words. To make things better, Ibuka traveled to the United States to secure their first transitor license from Bell Laboratories, a division of Western Electric Company, the production arm of AT&T. The following year, Morita also journeyed to the United States and finalized the agreement with Western Electric. This agreement led to their breakthrough product line, the transistor radios. In the quest to conquer the American market, they needed to create something completely revolutionary, something that would redefine the tech industry. So they discovered the transistor, a game-changing invention that was made by Bell Laboratories. This device offered a compact alternative, paving the way for the modern world as we all know it. Meanwhile, they met one of the biggest opportunities of their life, a chance to acquire patent rights from Bell Laboratories by simply paying royalties. The cost of getting the transistor patent rights amounted to a hefty sum of $25,000, a sum that their company simply couldn't afford. While facing financial challenges, Ibuka decided to take a bold gamble and proceeded with the acquisition. Meanwhile, they were in the process of independently developing the tape and tape recorder, without any external technical guidance. A company known as Western Electric saw their creativity and decided to partner with the Japanese company to use their transistor patent. To produce the most portable tech device, they experienced many challenges. And considering that even American companies struggled with the technology, it was almost impossible for a small company like Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo. After many failures, they decided to harness the potential of the unproven transistor technology to revolutionize the world. After a year of intensive experimentation, the team achieved a breakthrough. They discovered that by injecting small amounts of phosphorus, they could enhance the transistor's low power output, enabling a smoother flow of free electrons. As the United States introduced the Regency transistor radio in 1955, they also produced a compact and affordable transistor radio, which captured the hearts of many people after it was launched in 1957. Sony pocket radios became very popular, elevating the company into international recognition. The invention of this device played a crucial role in the widespread listening of rock and roll music. Following the breakthrough of their radio device, Sony took up a new era of consumer microelectronics. As radio sales skyrocketed, their influence expanded globally. While the rapid transformation from a small workshop to a global corporation seemed uncertain, this was only the start of their journey. At this time, they were still called Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo, and the name didn't quite capture the essence of a major company. So they needed a new name, a new identity that would resonate with customers anywhere around the world. One peculiar thing that can be noted in companies that have evolved over the years is how they took up a new identity by rebranding their name. Nike, Meta, and Amazon are very good examples. So, Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo took up a new identity, and the founders decided it was time for a new name. January 1958, Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo officially became Sony, derived from the Latin word sonus, meaning sound, symbolizing their focus on audio technology at that time. This name was chosen for international appeal, which goes beyond its Japanese origins. Meanwhile, the corporation expanded its global presence by setting up international branches. In 1988, Sony made a big move by purchasing CBS Records Group from CBS Incorporated, making it the owner of the largest record company globally. The following year, it acquired Columbia Pictures Entertainment Incorporated. However, the early 1990s brought challenges as the Japanese economy faced a long recession, and both Ibuka and Morita suffered strokes in 1992 and 1993. With the founders no longer leading, Sony experienced its first loss of over $200 million in 1993. Despite the setbacks, Sony continued to innovate, launching the PlayStation video game console in the Japanese market in 1994. This groundbreaking release reshaped the gaming landscape and firmly established Sony as a powerhouse in the gaming industry. Subsequent versions like the PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and 5 gave Sony dominance in the gaming console arena. By 2002, the gaming unit accounted for over 10% of the company's annual sales, along with significant profits from Sony Online Entertainment, particularly the online virtual reality game EverQuest. However, like in every successful story, there is also competition, increased competition, and financial setbacks driven by factors like market saturation and shifting consumer trends began to set in. In February 2014, Sony made some strategic moves to streamline its operations. It announced the sale of its VAIO PC division to a new company backed by the Japan Industrial Partners Investment Fund. Additionally, they restructured their TV division into a separate company to improve its flexibility in addressing losses totaling $7.8 billion over a decade. In April of the same year, Sony revealed plans to sell 9.5 million shares of Square Enix, amounting to approximately 8.2% of the gaming company's total shares, for around $48 million. In May 2014, Sony announced the establishment of two joint ventures with the Shanghai Oriental Pearl Group to produce the market PlayStation game consoles and related software in China. Furthermore, in 2015, Sony acquired Toshiba's image sensor business. By December 2016, reports suffered suggesting Sony was considering restructuring its operations further. This involved merging its television and film businesses, Sony Pictures Entertainment, with the games business, Sony Interactive Entertainment. This proposed reorganization would place Sony Pictures under the leadership of Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO. Today, Sony is one of the biggest movie studios in the world with an annual revenue of about $85.39 billion in 2023. What do you think about Sony's rise to popularity? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe.